Hello, this is Jacqueline Bamanek with Vibrational Energy Solutions, bringing you Soul Byte 4, which is all about triggers. And what is a trigger, you may ask? A trigger is an intense emotional response. It can include sensations that you have likely felt somewhere along your life's journey, and it is your subconscious remembering. So oftentimes we've experienced different traumas, and on the outside looking in, we may think that it's not a big deal. Like if we were the one inflicting the trauma, oftentimes we're taking a look at it through a very cloudy lens. And what we need to understand is every one of us was not given an instruction manual when we were born. Our parents did not receive an instruction manual. And so often the programming that each generation received gets passed on to the next generation. So oftentimes that includes different triggers that are memories that cause us to go into a reaction state. And so I wanted to bring this to you today because we get to become aware of our triggers. We get to become aware of our generational programming. We get to become aware of different traumas that we've experienced beyond those formative childhood years, because we are living in a world that is basically filled with traumatic events. You can turn on the news at any moment and you can find stories that have us realize the level of trauma that's being experienced in our world right now. So my goal today is to help you become aware and ask yourself, what exactly are you telling yourself when you're triggered? And then asking yourself, knowing that your body and your subconscious is always listening to you, you get to ask yourself, what is true about this? Am I actually in a reactive state, or am I being responsible? Am I able to respond to the stimulus that's coming at me? And can I open up the communication so that I can actually use this as a growth opportunity and see it as experience for me to become more of who I came to this world to be? So your triggers are guiding you. They're guiding you back home to your heart. They're guiding you to what it is within you that is ready to heal. That's why so often we come across experience after experience after experience that seems like another variation of a traumatic event, and we wonder, why are we bringing these experiences back? And it's because it's time to heal them. So for me, what my core wound is abandonment. And it's feeling the rug being pulled out from under me, or the feeling of needing to walk on eggshells, or where I lose myself by chameleoning into what others need to create safety in an environment. So that is a trigger. And so often those triggers are re-traumatizing us instead of allowing ourselves to become aware, ask ourselves what is really true about this, open up those lines of communication and actually heal, so that we can grow and move beyond what was triggering us in the past. So we'll move into, from the triggers, become tests. They become tests for us. Did we get the lesson? Is the experience going to continue again, or did we get the lesson? Did we grow beyond it? And oftentimes if we are triggered, we will create tests for others to need to jump through a hoop to prove themselves as worthy of creating a relationship, worthy of our time and energy, and deserving. We'll be testing ourselves. Am I deserving of this? Which, if it's something that's very good in your life, you may cause chaos and disruption by reacting to a trigger, because in the past you have basically created that. And we get to own it, because in order to be the victors of our life, we get to come out of the victimhood state of saying life is happening to me, and now choose life is actually happening for me. So that is an invitation that you can ask yourself. Am I viewing life through a lens that's a little bit cloudy and says life is happening to me? This person did this person said that, it affected me this way? Or are you seeing it through a neutral lens? Because really life is a neutral experience. It's how we are perceiving the experience that causes us to feel as if life is happening to us and getting into that victim state. So we get to allow ourselves to feel, to heal, to not re-traumatize, but to ask ourselves, is this a test? Am I going to choose to grow beyond it? Or am I going to recreate the experience again with another person? And that's our choice. So what those tests and triggers can create, it can create disconnection within, disconnection with others, even those that we say that we love, that we care about. We will alienate, we will start to lone wolf, and we will see it as a solo game of life. Or we'll invite other people into that game, and we'll play it again until we finally get it. So today's your opportunity. You can get it right now. And you can choose something different. So I'm going to give you a little tool that I call Breathe. I'm a somatic release breathwork practitioner as well as an energetic worker. If you know your Myers-Briggs testing, I am an INFP, which means I'm introverted, very highly feeling, perceptive, and here to be a support, to be a contribution in the world. So here we are. And B. So that is, for the letter B, we get to be present, we get to be with ourselves, to question our beliefs and ask, is it true? Is what they're saying true? So that we can actually become aware, because sometimes it is true and sometimes it isn't true. And oftentimes beliefs are just stories that we get others to buy into, or we buy into ourselves, that creates more disconnection. So that is B. R is for relax. So relax and also question, what are you repressing or are you regressing? And look at what's coming up in your world and ask yourself honestly. That's a question you get to ask yourself. Am I repressing or regressing? And then relax and breathe. And then we go into E. So E is for express. Express yourself authentically. Speak your truth. Because so often we hold back from bringing all of us forward. We hold back because we were taught to stay small, to not be seen, not be heard. That's not how to play this game of life if you want to win. You get to show up and you get to breathe. Connect in with your heart. Ask yourself, who am I and what is true for me? And share from your heart what is moving through you. And if people shut you down, those people are not your people. And you get to know that those that care about you are going to allow you to be yourself, and they're going to allow you to shine your light, and they're going to encourage you to be seen and be heard and share your love in the world. And share your love for yourself, because you are the source of your love, validation, and approval. So here we are, we're breathing. Then we go into A. We get to acknowledge. We get to acknowledge ourselves. We get to acknowledge our growth. We got to acknowledge how far we've come on this journey called life. Because it is a journey and it is an adventure at times. And so in that, we get to appreciate ourselves. We get to approve of ourselves. We get to allow ourselves to make mistakes We get to allow ourselves to fail, to not be perfect, because so often we're striving for a bar that's set so high, or being put up on a pedestal. And then I'll tell you what happens when you get put up high on a pedestal. If you're not ready for it and somebody knocks you off your pedestal, you will not know who you are, and you will start asking yourself a lot of questions and looking in the mirror and asking, who is this person looking back at me, without the recognition of who you are truly in your heart, in your soul, and come home to your heart. So that brings us to A. So I did that wrong. Hey, I guess I'm not perfect. Apparently, I get to be a little clearer on my spelling and sharing, because I believe I just went into yeah, we get to acknowledge, we get to appreciate ourselves, we get to look into how we are growing, how we are learning, and the experience called life. Okay, I'm not perfect either. There you have it. So I could choose to stop this video now and restart, or I can keep going and have you witness. You may call it a failure. How many failures have you had in your life? I have failed over and over and over and over again. And guess what? It's a part of the learning and growth. So you just experienced that in me. So that brings us to T. Have to check myself here. Can I spell? I truly can spell. So trusting ourselves. So trusting that the tests and the triggers are a part of our growth. We get to trust in life. Life is happening as it's meant to. It's awakening us to become who we are called to be. And you may look at the world and you may say, oh I can't believe that happened. Acknowledge there is always a positive side to everything, even the horrendous, the traumatic, and it's allowing us to step up. It's allowing us to awaken. It's allowing us to come home to our heart, to feel deeper, because so many are stopping ourselves from truly aligning with our hearts, being embodied, and loving ourselves. So this is an opportunity for you to trust yourself. Ask yourself, am I trusting myself? Am I overthinking, overanalyzing, needing to know all the answers? If you're coming from here, you will never have all the answers. And there is something to be said about having the brain and the heart coherence, because the two have to be aligned and working together. We have to use the wisdom of the past to bring us into our own truth. So that is an invitation. And then we get to look at H. H is for our heart, coming home to our heart, and to ask and question ourselves, am I hesitating? Because if you want to be, most of us are not able to answer on the fly, but so often we're taught that we have to have the answers and we have to react to show that we're smart enough, we're capable enough, whatever that is for you, the enoughness. But so often we are trapping ourselves in that, not giving ourselves a moment to hesitate so we can fully respond and not react. Because it's in our reaction that we actually can be triggered, because we're really not present, we're not embodied, we're not fully feeling home in our heart. We're not giving ourselves that love, validation, and approval that we are all seeking outside of ourselves. Whether it's looking for someone to save you. I had that complex as well. I was looking for someone to save me instead of being that space of self-responsibility and love for myself, to show my inner child that I wasn't abandoning myself. So I would create different scenarios where people would show up and abandon me, until the day that I chose to stand in my power, speak my truth, and come forward with my gifts and be the space of love for you as I'm being for myself. So then we go into E, which is ease and enjoyment. So when you're being honest with yourself and you are trusting yourself, you get to enjoy life. You get to ask yourself, what is going to generate joy for me today? Tune into your inner child. Connect with your higher self and ask yourself, what would light me up today? It could be turning on a song and dancing. It could be that simple as 4 minutes to put you into a new state of being. It could be getting out in nature, going for a hike, going for a walk. It could be a whole plethora of different choices. There are so many you could choose. Reading a book, taking a bath, working in your garden, feeding animals, loving on animals. So what is bringing you joy? And what are you passionate about? Asking yourself, what is the purpose that I get to live from today, that I am stating what my priority is, and I'm going to go all in and I'm going to enjoy it. This is Jacqueline with Vibrational Energy Solutions. I am graciously grateful. I am grateful for you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this journey. And thank you for diving deeper into your own transformation, your own healing. And know that I'm here. I welcome you to explore a little deeper. I have some audio affirmations, askformations, which are an invitation for the universe to co-create with you. I have guided meditations. I have the doorway to your divine destiny experience, which is calling you into a deeper knowing of who you are. And I would love to invite you into that. If you like the free introductory videos, I invite you to click the link that's appearing after this video. Bye for now. Sending you so much love.